Hey everyone, this is Jake here at Whatever, where we literally talk about whatever. This is the several part series. I know you clicked on my handsome face because you're wondering about budget travel. This is my number one spot. I was told to elaborate on this because somebody wants to go here. I'm not going to name any names, and I'm more than happy to share my experiences and give you some tips and tricks. So if this is something that you want to see, this is what gets you going in the morning, stay tuned to the very end because it's going to be a doozy. Let's send it. Are we recording? The red button is on. That means we're live. Welcome to my channel again. This is Jake here at Whatever. And this is also going to be going on my podcast. So we're going to be doing this in one go. I'm not stopping for any reason whatsoever. I'd like for this to be raw. I'd like for it to be natural, on the fly. Who knows? Maybe people like it that way. But you clicked on my handsome face because you want to know about budget destinations. This is part one. We're talking about Ambergris Caye, like I said in the intro video, and we're going to just kick it right off with flight. Okay, flight over there. We're going to go into the mainland. You're going to fly into one airport. There's Belize City. Belize City is the main airport. It's going to vary. Obviously, the flight's going to vary depending on where you're flying from. But you're going to fly into the main airport, and from there, you're either going to take a ferry or going to fly to Ambergris Caye. The ferry is around, I think, 10 to 20 Belize-ish, but the ferry takes a long time, and it's normally really crowded. So I personally would take a charter plane. I know I said it's budget travel, but I'm going to pay a little bit more for comfort and for, honestly, just for speed to be able to get there and for the experience. If I'm being completely honest, seeing in a charter plane, your altitude's not gonna be so high, especially if it's only like a 10 to 15 minute flight as compared to the 2-hour ferry ride. So you're gonna take the flight, it's gonna be about 15 minutes, like I said, over to Ambergris Caye, and you can take video footage of the water. It's crystal clear. You can see of these small little islands on the way. You can see the second biggest barrier reef in the world from the sky as you're flying to this island. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's worth spending just a little bit more just to have that kind of an experience, especially if this is a trip that you plan on only taking once. You know, let's face it, sometimes people just don't want to go to the same place twice. I mean, I really don't, but this is one that I may make an exception for. So just keep that in mind. Ferry, charter flight. It's up to you. Before you take a ferry or your charter plane, you want to go to the duty-free zone, because you're going to be able to get your liquor for the week or however long you're going to be there. Your liquor for the week will be there. It's going to be a lot cheaper. Cheaper in the sense that, you know, it's yours. You know exactly what you like. And wherever you're staying, that's your stuff. You don't have to go anywhere else for it if you didn't want to, especially if you're hungover and you just kind of want to hang out and relax in the condo or the house or the Airbnb, wherever you're staying, or the resort, whatever. The exchange rate in Belize is 2 to 1. So every 2 Belize, you have $1 American. So that's a pretty sweet deal. I know it's not baht or won or, you know, some of these other places like Thailand or things of that, places of that nature where, you know, or Vietnam. That's another place where your dollar goes a really long way. This country's a little more developed, and like I said, we're focusing on this one because this is my number one. But we're going to get into some of these other ones a little later on down the line, and the other parts that I'm going to be putting out. So let's fast forward here. You made it onto the island, right? You're gonna fly into San Pedro Airport, or you're gonna take the ferry into the marina. Either way, you're gonna stay either in close to downtown or on the north or south, northern end or southern end of this island. Let's be honest, it's not a huge island. I was going to give y'all a map for a visual reference, but, you know, Google's, you know, your best friend. So you can go ahead and look at it as I explain it. So all the way to the north, if you go as far north as you can, well, not as far north as you can, but on the northeast part of the island, so there's a bar called El Norte Bar and Grill. That place is amazing. There's not much foot traffic. The locals know about this place, not so much touristy. I like it personally. Not that I don't like people, but I don't like a whole lot of people, especially when I'm trying to relax. So this is a great one. I'm gonna provide pictures and videos throughout this entire video or podcast recording, whatever. El Norte Bar and Grill. Remember that. So the local beer there is called Belican. Just for quick reference, Belican is their lager, and they've got other variations, which is like a little bit darker kind of a beer, but I think it's still called Belican, but it's just a darker lager. Their bottles, their 12-ounce bottles, are actually thicker than ours in America, so there's less fluid ounces in their beer. But for the most part, the average price of their beer is around 5 Belize per beer, so that's like $2.50 in American. But that's mostly in the more, like in the downtown area where there's a lot of foot traffic, like I said earlier. So if you go further south or maybe even further north, it'll be around 3 Belize, 3, 4, or 250. 250 I found mostly on the southern end because there's not so many people there, so they don't really need to jack the prices up too bad. But yeah, that's going to be the average price for the beer, for the local beer there. And then obviously the imported beer is just going to be a little bit more. But that's definitely a far cry from like if you were to visit Vegas, or if you're going to go out to Europe or any of those other places where you're going to be spending an arm and a leg. So I think this is pretty good. This is a pretty good one in the middle that still gives you a lot of bang for your buck. Another drink that's a local drink is called rum punch. It's exactly how it sounds. It's rum and punch. It's like a jungle juice kind of. It tastes really good to me. I don't really care for sweet drinks, to be completely honest, but this one's not too bad, and it's normally around between 8 to 10 Belize, so it's about around maybe $5, which really isn't that bad. I mean, let's be honest here. That's really not that bad of a price, especially if you're on vacation. You're just trying to enjoy yourself. It's a good place to not spend too much money. And I'll show you some more of this here in a sec. We're gonna go further south. So if you go from El Norte in the very top, and we're gonna work our way down south. And if you're looking at the map, if you come down south further, you're gonna pass Aurora Grill and Bar, and you're gonna take a right. You're gonna go towards the west side of the island, and you'll see a Secret Beach Bar and Grill at Secret Beach. This is a local hotspot, especially on Wednesdays. Locals like to go there on Wednesdays, and tourists like to go there on the weekends. So if you haven't heard of it, now you have. You're welcome. It's a great spot. I will say this: you can see the sunset from anywhere. All right, it's an island. There's not so many trees and buildings that they're going to block all your views or anything. So you're never going to miss the sunset. But this is a good spot for a sunset. Just for the simple fact that it's a beach, and it's got you can drink while you're looking at the sunset and all that stuff. The locals think it's a great spot, so you're just hanging out. You're hanging out with locals. It's great. The local language, the main language of this place, I meant to say this earlier, is English. So you're not really missing out. Now, if you go back east from Secret Beach, you're gonna go back east, hit the road, and come back south. All right. As you start going south, then you go south maybe about 15-20 minutes or so, and you're gonna hit a place called Crocs Sunset Sports Bar. That place is pretty sweet. It's a three-tiered place. It's kind of westernized in the sense that it's got TVs. It's got TVs and stuff, and you can watch football and soccer and stuff. So that's kind of the westernized portion of it. But on the second floor is the main floor with the bar and everything. But that really gives you a great view of all the mangroves on the west side of the island, and it always affords you a great view of the sunset. And like I said, a lot of these pictures I'm going to show you. You'll see it. And these are all taken by me. All the videos are taken by me. So there's no messing around. I mean, this is the real deal. All right, if we leave there and we go further down, we're gonna hit a place called Losers Belize. This one's a little more touristy, I suppose, because you're getting closer to downtown. So, but they have live music every, I think, Tuesday and Thursday or so. I can't remember off the top of my head. Don't take my word for that one. But it's a great place. Also, if you're kind of hanging out downtown, if you go further south than that, you're gonna hit a place called Palapa Bar and Grill. Really neat place. They've got rafters and a deck that goes all the way out to the water. You can jump in the water and come, and there's a set of stairs and come back up to the deck, and you can do that however many times you want. You have a great view of the water. You have a great view of the barrier reef from there, because you'll see the water breaks at a certain point. Wherever that water breaks, that's where the barrier reef is. And the barrier reef is, aside from being absolutely gorgeous, it really protects the island itself during hurricane season. You know, that's what they're made for. Aside from marine life and all the crazy stuff that you can see if you go snorkeling and stuff like that, or if you go fishing, or maybe you're just taking a boat ride. But yeah, Palab Bar, it's great. They'll give you buckets of beer. You know, if you get buckets of beer, this is a tip from me. If you just go ahead and get like a bucket of beer, you're gonna end up spending less in the long run. Also, so you know, just a little FYI for that one. So I just get buckets of beer while I'm there, just to save a little bit. Yeah, I either drink Belican or Corona. You know, I'm a pretty simple kind of guy. Blob Bar. We're gonna go a little further south, and this is the one tidbit of information I'll give you for the downtown area, because this is something that I make it a point to go to, and I think it's either every Wednesday or every Thursday. It's split. It's something called Chicken Drop. I can't remember the exact place that this is located. It's it's called the Spindrift Hotel, I believe. Anyway, it's right around in that area, and you can't. I mean, you really can't miss it. It's like chicken poop bingo, literally chicken poop bingo. There's a bingo board that's been drawn in chalk on the ground, and it's enclosed by this small net, and they put chickens in the middle of this thing. And you can entice the chicken wherever you want, especially if it's going towards, if you have raffle tickets in a certain number, and this chicken poops, and whatever number that poop lands in, whoever has that number for that round wins the pot. And it's pretty great. And as you can see from the pictures, I've won once. I've won the bigger pot. And that was that was a lot of fun. They give you the money for the pot, and then they let you hold the chicken. You take a picture with the chicken, and they put your picture on their wall. And it's I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I like it. I would highly suggest it. The energy's really high. Everybody's excited, and you get to see people just acting a fool, throwing chicken feed out, trying to entice these chickens with corn and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, definitely would suggest that. Now, we used to own a house down on the southern end of this island, so we're going to go south of downtown now as we're moving along, right? There's a lot of neat stuff. Obviously, do what you want to do, but there's a place called the Island Wonder Beach Club, and it's just south of the Royal Caribbean Resort, and there it is on the eastern side, obviously, of the island. So the Island Wonder Beach Club is great. It's got these little seats that sit out on the water with a little cover over, kind of like a gazebo, but in the water. And there's not a lot of foot traffic there. That's why I like it. That's why I like it so much. So you can go there, you can drink, you can enjoy the water, you can enjoy the sand, or just enjoy some drinks and maybe nurse the hangover from the night before. Who knows? Now, this last place I'm going to talk about for this podcast, for this video, for today, as far as on the island itself, is called Stacks. And the house that we used to own is right next to it, basically. We would just have to walk right across the street. So it's called Stacks because they're storage containers, and they've transformed them into a little bar. They have some snacks and stuff there, but they're mostly known for their bar vibe, and it's a really neat place. Obviously, there's not much foot traffic there. This is a recurring theme with me. I don't like a lot of foot traffic when I'm trying to relax. This is a great place to go, especially if you're trying to unwind and just trying to enjoy your vacation, because what good is a vacation if you can't just let go? You know what I mean? So this is another one. This is going to be the last one on the island itself. And now I'm just going to go into some of the activities that you can do off, in the water, or if you wanted to go to the mainland, or maybe you did some research. There's a lot of different ruins in the mainland. mean, I'm a history buff, so it's really, really neat. You can take an hour-long boat ride back to the mainland. It takes you up a river. You get on a bus. Bus takes you to a tour guide, and the tour guide gives you, a tour of the ruins. You can take a charter plane back to the mainland, and then from there they take a bus all the way to these ruins, or close to these ruins anyway. And the tour guide takes you on a tour of all these ruins, as you can see. And those experiences are great for me personally. You can also take a boat or a charter plane, obviously, back to the mainland, and they have cave tubing and they have zip lining. And let's see here, they've got snorkeling around the island itself. Obviously, you can snorkel at Holchan Marine Preserve, and that I like to snorkel, so that's a huge one for me. You can charter a boat to other parts of the island where you can snorkel there, or you could just take a boat ride or a cruise. You can island hop. That's why I like this island so much. Is there's so much to do. It's so versatile that you'll never get bored. And even if you are trying to relax, you can still do that even, because it's not so busy like some of these other places that you'd go to. And it's more cost effective than if you were to fly and spend all this money to go to the Maldives, when you have a Maldives worthy place there in Central America. So again, this is a personal favorite of mine. I love it. And if you decide that you want to add it to, not just from me talking, but maybe some of the pictures that I posted, if you need some more information, go ahead and DM me or comment or like or subscribe, or however you want to get a hold of me. All my information is in the description below, and all my social media is going to be down there as well. So if you have any other video suggestions aside from this budget travel series that I'm going to be doing, please let me know, and I will definitely cover that. I will put it in the list, and I'll get it done at some point. But make sure you're following up, and let me know how I can improve, because that's one of my biggest things, is trying to be better, and improve this channel. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I always say, like I always tell everyone, just send it.